why men respond to distance, why he pursues you when you're distant. This video is gonna finally expose the truth of why men respond to distance. I'm gonna reveal why men hate when women don't give distance, and I'm gonna give you my super-powered reel him in magnetic technique, if you will. And the reel him in technique makes a man go from pulling away to running back to you. So you will not lose the man you love once you discover all these tricks. Hey, it's Erin, your personal love expert, back again on the channel where we make men make sense. VixenDaily. If you want to learn why men respond to distance, then write "I'm ready" right now in the comments down below while the intro plays. This video has been requested so many times, so I hope you guys enjoy. But before we dive into today's video, I have a very small favor to ask. If you like this video, any of my videos, anything about me, what I'm wearing, love advice, give me a like, a thumbs up, give me a like, share, subscribe, tell people all about it. If you want to get personal one-on-one advice from me, go to VixenInsider.com. It's where I give one-on-one coaching, and you'll get to the bottom and core of what men really want. And here's the truth. Men respond to distance because it's a good vibe. So most love advice and dating tips, they don't cover solid tips for women that really work, but what distance is boils down to space. So space is basically the heart of a lot. So the solution here is to give a man space, but also to be better when away. The reason why men run hot and cold, why men respond to distance, why he stopped pursuing you, and why he's pulling away can all boil down to not giving him space. See, when I give relationship advice on how to get the guy, it begins with knowing how to put yourself first, what men think, and the best relationship advice for women on how to make him love you, make him yours, and why men lose interest, but it all boils down to space. You see, most women, they cheat themselves out of experiencing love because they interrupt a man's process of falling in love, and men fall in love with your absence when they're by themselves. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Give a man space. It's where they process their emotions. Men work out their emotions in private, which is why you need to give a guy space to fall in love with you and to stay in love with you. But what do you do when you're giving him space? You focus on yourself and living your own happy life that you love. Space is a key ingredient to love. Space makes a man feel safe and is a key ingredient for men. It's a process, and they sort out their emotions when they're in private away from you. So here's the key understanding, because in pop culture, you often get lied to when you hear some nonsense like men don't want to be in a relationship because they don't want to lose their freedom. No. This is not what men want. But before I go into the truth of what men want, by the way, sorry, I have a cold, everyone. I apologize. But for real, men want a relationship with a woman that gives them space, what they really want. Now listen closely and join Vixen Insider if you want some one-on-one coaching and more explanation behind this. But for real, listen. You hear this nonsense, men don't want to lose their freedom. Well, no, the popular misinterpretation is that it's men wanting to be running around single forever, but it is not true. What they're talking about is they don't want to lose being able to have uninterrupted space in their life when they need it. Men need space sometimes. It's good for them, it's good for your relationship. It's so important that you understand this and you're okay with him taking space when he needs it, because guess what space is? Space is what men really need when they think that it's freedom. It's not freedom, that's a whole myth. And so all you have to do here to be the winning woman that is the apple of his eye is focus on your life, give him space. It's so much easier when you have a life you're happy with and you have this key understanding that space is good for you and the relationship. Love space. It's essential for the relationship to survive. You occupy your life with things you love so that while he's recharging his batteries, you're recharging yours. It's really important that you realize space isn't a problem. It's natural for guys to want space. Being good at giving a guy space is an essential part of any good relationship. So look at it as an opportunity for him to appreciate you more and more, to reach for more of you, because the real problem is not him wanting space or giving him space. It's natural for a guy to want it, especially if he's going through something emotional and needs to sort something out. And it's easy to give a guy space unless you're worried that giving him space is gonna lead to something bad happening. So the real problem isn't giving him space, but you're worrying about it itself. So I know you might say, well, if I think something bad is gonna happen if I give him space, how can I not worry? Well, here's what you have to understand. Let me give you an example of how this worrying can actually destroy your relationship. You meet this guy, you're single and happy, you're living your life and you're not connected to him. You're just a woman in the world living their life happy and carefree. Your vibe is good because there's no pressure on your dynamic. There's no heaviness, there's no burden or weight on him to have to be a specific way or say specific things, say things in a specific way, and it feels good to be around you, and he's attracted to you because your vibe is good, feels good to be around you, your relationship feels good. Here's where it can all go wrong, and it's where so many women make a huge mistake that kills a relationship and puts it toward a failure. They get excited about the guy becoming their boyfriend. They build him up in their mind. They have fantasies about what the future will entail, how it'll turn out. They obsess, they want to possess him. They want him to fulfill their hopes and dreams of having love and a relationship in their life. And guess what they do? By the way, join VixenInsider.com if you want to make sure you don't do this. It's where I do one-on-one private coaching. So girls, anyone, VixenInsider.com is your ticket to get a man going from distant and difficult to loving you with all his soul without realizing it. What happens is they're putting pressure. The women that make this mistake, they put pressure, expectation on themselves, on the guy in the relationship, which makes things start to go wrong. Instead of the relationship being light and easy, it ends up needing to live up to some kind of ideal or expectation. Instead of you being present in the moment you're together, you're not together. You're doing the opposite. You're caught up in your head. You're needing the relationship to get somewhere. You're trying to force things to be some way where, it's not natural. You kill your mood, which makes the relationship, which once felt good, feel like a drag, and here's where it gets worse. You can sense that the relationship is getting worse, and instead of making things better, you're seeking reassurance that he wants you still and still wants to be in this relationship. So you try and do things to get reassurance for him that he still is interested and wants the relationship to work out the way you want it to. The problem is you never feel reassured, and if he does reassure you, it's never good enough. And deep down, it's because you feel something's terribly wrong, and there is something wrong. And if he doesn't reassure you, you feel worse and you want more and more reassurance, but it's a bottomless pit. Sooner or later, after drowning him in all this energy of pressure and expectation and worry and fearful energy, he leaves, or at least wants to get away from you. And it's draining to be around someone who's constantly in a negative state. Eventually, he'll be so drained that the relationship will end. Done. And I want you guys to understand something. I can help you get the guy back where he's no longer distant and difficult only if you join VixenInsider.com. And the truth is, he's gonna say, where did the woman go that was so attractive and easy to be around? Well, here's the truth. Your attractiveness ends the moment you build it up in your mind as something he has to live up to in order for you to feel happy and okay. So when you're feeling worried, something bad will happen if you give him space, I have to ask you this. Shouldn't you be a lot more worried if you don't give him space? Now, let's talk about what to do to fix this and how giving him space works. So here's what you do when a man pulls away and says he needs space. Don't push him away more, because if you don't listen to what I'm about to say and join Vixen Insider, honestly, then you're gonna end up chasing him and he'll lose interest. Do not text him a lot. Don't call him, don't message him on social media. Don't look to him for any validation or reassurance. Let him take the space he needs without reasserting yourself into his life. Because when you started seeing him, you weren't worried he was gonna leave you. You weren't worried that you were gonna lose something you had. If you're currently worried about your relationship, the root, honestly, is you now think you have something that you can lose. Your mindset change and fear of loss destroyed and took hold in your relationship, and it will actually destroy it. So what happens is the more you think about losing him, the worse you feel, and the more negative feelings get festered and festered in you, and it starts making you act differently, because instead of enjoying yourself and letting that be the guide, your negative emotions drive the ship, and your fear of losing him make you want to control him because you're terrified if you don't, you'll lose him. And people feel when you're trying to control them, and your fears of losing him, they make you want to control him because you're terrified that if you don't, you'll lose him. But when people feel this, they instinctively pull away. That's the irony. And similarly, if your thoughts are dominated by fears of losing the guy, your mood won't be fun to be around. So instead of your mood being light, easy, and fun, it's paranoid, suspicious, and gloomy. And when it feels like that, people want to get away from it. Plain and simple, people don't want to feel like they're being controlled, and they don't want to be around someone who's in a bad mood. And it's not a guy thing, it's a human thing. So guys, join VixenInsider.com, because this is so hard to really explain in one video alone. But what should you do to keep him by your side? It's important to say, normal for a guy to want space, normal to give him space. If you try to control him, he'll run. If you try to make him stay with you, you'll drive him further away, because a lot of guys want space because they don't feel in control of themselves emotionally. They want to figure out what to do with their relationship and just get a breather. Most guys, they need space and time to just start feeling closer and more connected with a woman. That's why clinging to him and trying to pull him closer is gonna backfire. It's what giving him space will make him miss you and make him more likely to come back. Since giving a guy space is part of his process for falling in love and staying in love with you, you don't want to interrupt his process. But the big secret to giving someone space is being happy about giving them space and seeing it as a good thing for your relationship. It's a perspective, and when you understand that a guy needing space is a way of him processing emotions, it's so much easier because you don't take it personally. He doesn't want to get away from you, he just wants it so he can have his process. The bottom line is this: a man does not want space to get away from you. He just wants it so he can have his process. So if he's looking for some space, let him have it. You don't know the reason he wants space, and that's okay, but you can use this as a lesson for yourself to learn to be okay with not knowing what is on his mind at the moment. And if you want help with this, join VixenInsider.com, because I am specializing in helping women find this peace within their own mind, and it gets them from where they are now to getting results they want. So like I said before, men want space to sort their feelings out. When they're ready, they will reemerge from their shell and reconnect with you. It's better to reconsider your attitude and consider space a sacred and private process for men, and know that men are very wired to believe that it's important that their partner understands how important it is to take space and have space. If he needs a day, give him a day. If he needs a week, give him a week. What should you do in the meantime though? Use this as an opportunity to bring your mood up. Do things you love doing. Connect with your friends, your loved ones, your life. Watch Netflix, have fun. Do anything and everything you can do to feel great. Appreciate the good things in your life, laugh and feel happy. And of course, join VixenInsider.com if you want help. I do one-on-one coaching, and we will give you the winning mindset in this group. This is actually even more important than giving the guy space for two reasons. Number one, if you're doing things to enjoy yourself and improve your mood, what are you not doing? You're not worrying. And if you're not feeding into the fears, the negativity, and the worrying, it won't feel like torture to just leave him alone and give him space. You'll be in a good mood when he does reemerge, so that will likely lead things in a better direction, because moods are like magnets in your relationships. Your good moods will put things in a good direction, and your bad moods will put things in a bad direction. So if you ever need more of a reason to be in a good mood, do it for your love life. Ironically, men often need space so that they can be in a good mood within the relationship too. Everyone has their process, and relationships work best when both partners understand how to be in a good mood and bring that good mood to the relationship. If there's a problem in the relationship that needs to be worked out, so be it. You'll give him space and see what happens from there. And oftentimes you'll give the guy space and he works the problem out himself, and it's no longer a problem. Or he comes back and brings up the problem, and if you're in a good mood and in an open state, you can really listen to each other and work it out. Either way, your best bet is to give him some space and work on being your best self and be happy, your best happy self, while you're giving him space. So if he's pulling away, you have any specific questions about how to make him love you, pursue you, devote his entire self to you, then I want you guys to know you can get help from me directly at VixenInsider.com. Ask me anything you want. That's VixenInsider.com. Be sure to comment on this video with your thoughts on this topic, questions you might have, anything, and I will see you guys next time. And subscribe to the channel so you can have the love life that you really want.